Yo, Joe!
Hello everyone and welcome back to another figure review. Today we're going to be taking a close look at Classified series as I usually do. But today we have the Action Sailor Recon Diver, and this is part of their 60th anniversary celebration figures. If you don't know, before G.I.Joe started with their 3/4 inch, and based on all the characters back there and all that stuff, that was more of a real American hero time period, whereas way before that they used to make actual, I think it was 12-inch figures with clothed goods and whatnot, and they started off as simple army soldiers. I believe they started with World War II-ish era kind of soldiers, and then they progressively, updated. Anyone can correct me if I'm wrong, but they did. G.I. Joe initially started with 12-inch figures. That's where the whole they're not dolls, they're action figures came up from, and this is celebrating that when G.I. Joe was simply army soldiers. And here we have our diver. I do have the infantryman coming in sometime next week, or maybe tomorrow, Saturday. I'm recording on a Friday. I also have some other things coming in, so stay tuned for that. But that's enough yapping from me. We've been looking at the box. It looks very nice. Like the style. I love the art here on the side, the nice little 60th anniversary logo, nice portrait there at the front, QR code on the side with a digital render there, and then a nice mock-up of the figure and some nice little diorama and a few zoom-in shots there. You will notice that this is not numbered, so some people might get upset about that. Doesn't bother me because I don't care about numbers and whatnot. I have thrown away a lot of my boxes away, so yeah, my boxes are incomplete. Some nice sort of watery effects here at the top, and then you have the Joe logo. And with that being said, let me open them up, take out all the accessories because we do have a lot, and we'll take a closer look at the figure itself. So everything is out of the box, but just wanted to show the sort of card back that's in the packaging. It's a nice 60th anniversary logo there with like topography mapping going on, so you can use that as a nice little background. It's not as sturdy, but it's an option. You can make it work as such. But with that being said, let's look at the accessories because we do have a whole lot of them to look at. So these are all the goodies we have, starting off with the base. Again, no name. I really don't mind if we have a name or not. It's a nice base and you can use it with whatever Joe member you want. So it's a nice, display piece that you get there. But you can see we do have a good pile here. I didn't even know how to organize it. We do have the harpoon gun, which we have seen with the Cobra Eels and Torpedo. It's the same one, just with this sort of army green for the strap here and the rope, I guess you would say, for a harpoon gun. So it looks very nice, nicely detailed. It's a little warped, at least over here at this point here. Some warpage going on. I'm pleasantly surprised that most of this isn't too badly warped. We have a pistol here, which we've seen many times now at this point. But nice 1911 with the removable suppressor, so that's nice. Again, not too badly warped, so that's nice to see there. We have a knife, which mine is warped, as you can see there. Gotta straighten it out, but you have some nice silver paint to the blade, some nice detail. We saw this with Torpedo and the Eels, so we do have a lot of reuse when it comes to the guns. Again, this is Torpedo's gun. You do have a removable mag. Put that back, and then you can port blast effects on the front there, but it's a nice little SMG and I like it. Moving on, we do have flippers. Of course, we've seen these already. in all black, sort of like the eels. I think they had all black flippers, so it's nice to see these again. Again, very malleable, pliable, whatever you want to call it, for some great swimming photography and movement. And I think this is where we more or less get some new stuff. Starting with the smaller one, we do have some dog tags here, and they don't have any detail like name wise. It shouldn't, because he is an army builder, but it's very nicely sculpted and detailed. Some nice silver paint to it, looks nice, and you know, a nice fun accessory to have, some dog tags. Next up, we do have, I don't know if this goes anywhere on here. I'll maybe have to look at some pictures, but I don't think that connects to anything. At least I don't think so. This might go on his chest, if I remember. Maybe, I'm not too sure. But this comes separate in the packaging, and you get some dials, you know, maybe pressure, water pressure and whatnot. Some different details in there. I will figure out where this goes. But yeah, we get that accessory. We get this bulkier one, which is sort of a little, I wouldn't say submarine, but it's a scuba equipment, you know, allows you to glide underwater very efficiently. I believe you see these used if you ever played Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3, the old Call of Duty, not the new one. They use these, maybe they use them in the new one, I don't remember, I haven't played it. But they use these sort of devices as well to navigate underwater. Basically an underwater kind of little mini sub. And then we do have a pouch here, which I assume are explosives. I believe we did get this with, I believe this is reused from Snake Eyes, the retro carded from Walmart. So yeah, this is reused as well. We have the breathing mask, which I love, because we do get the clear visor there, or goggles, which I wish they would have done with Torpedo, but they didn't. But we got them here, so I'm tempted to buy another one of these and see if I can do some sort of mod so I can use the clear goggles with Torpedo. But yeah, there's some hoses, a number 24, some tanks there. This is a peg and a valve there at the top. The peg will go on there, and I will try to, you know, show off the different variations of how you can, you know, equip this scuba diver. But we have the alternate head here, a Caucasian male, you know, blonde dude with his eyebrows, looking very cool. Nice eyes, nice paint, nice mouth overall, and a nice, you know, scuba gear mask thing. And here we have the scuba diver himself, looking rather cool. And as you'll notice, out of the box it comes with separate back piece that also came with Torpedo, and another, I assume this is also removable. If we remove his head, that top piece is removable. I believe they said that the vest was also removable. I don't remember if that's something you can do. Doesn't seem like there's any kind of tab that would allow you to do that. So yeah, I think the vest is not removable, which is a bit of a shame, but it's a nice looking vest. It's a new piece. We haven't seen this. It's not reused from anything. The knife sheath here is reused. We have this other different pouches here on the leg. And yeah, it's basically the same mold as Torpedo. We have the same sort of gauntlet here on the wrist. Putting back this head on, we can take a quick look at that. It looks amazing. Looks very mean and aggressive, like he means business. So if you have your Torpedo, it should be the same articulation pretty much. You have your bicep swivel there, double jointed arms. Both hands are hinging vertically, so up and down. as you can see there. You do have a nap crunch, which might be limited due to the vest a little bit. You can crunch a little bit, and back not so much. You do still have your waist swivel there. You can kick forward pretty nicely, out very nicely. You do have the drop down hips, upper thigh cut there, double jointed knee. You have your sort of boot or calf swivel there, and then feet go back, forward, and they pivot. So a lot of great range with this guy. He just looks overall cool. He looks like an actual military person, and you know, that's what some classified collectors want, just a more realistic looking army men or army troop builders. And I'm sure people are gonna enjoy this guy, at least people who like, you know, sort of your Navy SEALs, more water-based operations groups. This guy will fit in with your collection, and he will fit in with Torpedo. Alright, so I pretty much tried to kit him as much as possible, and he is a bulky guy. All the appropriate equipment you need when you're a Navy SEAL. I assume these guys are a Navy SEAL and, you know, scuba divers and whatnot. But yeah, this is a lot of gear on this one guy. I assume this piece goes on as such. I am not too sure. I may have to look at some promo shots to really tell you guys how that works. But yeah, nothing seems to connect to this back piece. It's just sort of there for show. The head may be a little, not too much. This piece, if you just leave it floating, you can get them to look around, and so that works. But when you have it fully tabbed in as such, it may be a little harder to move his head. But yeah, you have floating piece. Doesn't really seem to obstruct articulation all that much. You can move them around pretty well. Like I said, if this thing is tabbed in, it might be a little difficult to move his head. But for the most part, it tends to work out. You can, you know, pass it off from certain angles. But that pretty much does it for this guy. There's a lot to do with this guy. There's different ways to kit him out. You know, you can remove all that, and then we can put the dog tags, put his alternate head. Oh, it's a little tough. I don't know if that went in, but it didn't click, so, but it's staying on there. So as you can see, you can remove all that, have him with the dog tags. Where is his pistol? I assume we can store that here. As such, we can store the suppressor in here as such. If it go down further as such. So there's a lot of storage on this guy as well. His back piece, as we saw with Torpedo, can also store his gun back there. You can make him hold his harpoon gun. You can pose him with a little riding little underwater vehicle if you want. And oh, that just separated. Let's see. Okay, so that separates, but it's a very easy sort of D shape, so it should just go back in there, no problems. But yeah, I assume you use this one this way. You have, you know, your radar there. You can just hold on to it if you want. So yeah, there's a lot of playability with this guy. We can give him the explosives if we want. But yeah, there's just a lot of playability with this guy, and I love it. There's a lot of options for display, and I'm sure people are gonna get creative with this guy. I would probably buy one more just to have two of them joining Torpedo on their missions and whatnot. But I love the green that they used on this guy. It just looks cool, and the faces look great and menacing. And for the most part, it seems that he tends to be relatively well stocked on Amazon. You know, they go in and out of stock, but I got mine and it shipped out pretty fast and arrived pretty fast. I believe it only took 2 days. But yeah, there we have him. Looks great. Here he is next to Torpedo. I do have my Torpedo a little more, posed, crouched it down. But yeah, they look good. They look great. I know people are gonna have heck of a fun with this guy. He's totally worth it. Tons of accessories and playability with this guy. So yeah, he is an A+ figure. I hope you guys enjoyed this figure review, and I'll see you guys in a future video.